With Optic, Luminosity, and 100 Thieves all out before Championship Sunday, we were going to crown a new champion today. And beyond that, and beyond the CWL Finals, we're also going to be taking a first look at the pools of all 32 teams that will be at World Championship. That and more coming up in this episode. COD family, friends, loved ones, we'll just go ahead and say that. Welcome back on IHOLDSHIFT to the COD recap. I don't know why I said that. It's the first time I've said those things, but we've got a champion to crown today. Beyond that, if you missed it, we were also live on my Twitch doing some analysis, recaps, and things of that nature, and we had a lot of fun with a lot of people who came into chat. So if you missed it, I'm sorry we missed you. Hopefully we'll catch you guys next time around. But let's go ahead and dig in really quickly and take a look at what today had pinned up for us. Coming out of the winners bracket from both Friday and Saturday's events and results, it would be Faze Clan and eUnited in the winners bracket, and to get in the losers bracket for the final top four, it would be Reciprocity and Gen.G. And I guess beyond that, we should probably start with the fact that there was also an open finals today where the boys would be taking on against Team War. The boys coming out of the winners bracket, Team War coming out of the losers bracket, and like we have gotten in every single open so far, it would be another 2 sets of best of 5s. This time it would go to see all 10 games. Team War taking the first one in 5, but the boys able to bounce back and get themselves the championship for the final open event that we'll ever see. We'll talk about that more in other videos, but don't fret. I think there's gonna be more big things coming for the amateur scene. But let's get back into the championship bracket as we'd start things off with Reciprocity and Gen.G on the broadcast. Things would start on a hardpoint C side where Gen.G, we're going to be looking to match up against Dylan and all of his massive nonsense that he was able to put together over the last couple of days. And Dylan was massive with a couple of huge plays all over the place, as Reciprocity would actually start Seaside off really great in the first 2 hills. But Gen.G would respond with Fountain and Barrels. Bed Specialist and Streaks from Gen.G actually gave Reciprocity a chance to even it back up, but Gen.G would bounce back to gain a 50-point lead, and it was pretty scrappy all the way through from there. My biggest worry about this Gen.G squad going into today was Nagafen, and he beefed a pretty bad Tempest in this set and did not have the best of performances, so I was very worried for Gen.G. Search and Destroy Gridlock would be up next. Gen.G was just doing a much better job at point B on Gridlock, being able to get out the post and set up both the post plant for them while also breaking the post plant of Reciprocity. But it really felt like, once again, Gen.G was winning a 4v5 because Naga was 1-7 going into round 8. Fortunately, Envoy was able to earn a War Machine by round 9 and would clean up 2 with that. We would see ourselves looking at a Gen.G win 6-3. Going to Control Frequency, Gen.G would fly through their first offense on Frequency, but Reciprocity made great reactions on their second defense and the round 4 offense as well. Definitely one worth breaking down in the future for just round 3 and round 4 alone, which is I think what we're going to be doing for you guys next on our little Eyes On series. Nagafen, double negative again, by the way. Hardpoint Hacienda would be map number 4 as the set would go 2-1 to Gen.G. Reciprocity honestly just did not look good on any particular hill here in Hacienda. My biggest worry was that if there was a team behind Dylan and Dylan doesn't fry, the answer was that there was not enough of a team support there because Dylan did not fry today. And everyone was negative on the side of Reciprocity with the exception of Alex. A 250-157 win. Gen.G take the set 3-1. And our winners bracket final would be our next one. Hardpoint Gridlock. Faze had some great early plays in the early second rotation as they would grow a 40-point lead. Honestly, by that point, it was just perfect freaking COD from both teams as there was great specialist usage, great score streak usage. It really just came down to a couple of moments. In specific, as we went over to the cafe on Gridlock to get the final points, Cell would miss a clutch Tempest shot, which would have broken the hill for Faze, but it was Arcides who picked up 2 in the backside of the spawns by cafe, which would opt to get eUnited back into it. It would be a 250-247. eUnited able to make the small comeback at the end. An incredible set of hardpoint. I also have that one notched for a potential analysis video. Going to the Search and Destroy on Arsenal. Simp opened up with a 1v3 with a Strife, a pistol. He started off 10-0 for Simp, but wouldn't you believe it? Arcides would choke a little bomb defuse as he wasn't quite able to get a full slide. He had a dead slide, and just like that, it was 4-3, and FaZe were able to sound it to around 11. Good composition for the FaZe squad, but they weren't quite able to close things out as eUnited would take this one 6-5. Control, Seaside, EU's up 2-0. Faze really tried their hardest to throw this one. On both of their defenses, they would push out from checkers from A, down in towards B when all they had to do was defend A. The first time around, eUnited were able to push things back, get a life advantage, and clutch things up. But the second time that happened, it was 0 with the very early vision pulse in round 5, which gave Faze a huge life lead, and they almost threw it away again, but Faze would clutch up. But goodness, did they really want to throw that badly on their defense. 3-2 to Faze. We'd go to map 4. EU, Hardpoint, Arsenal dominated the first rotation. Perfect rotations, perfectly timed. No one from Faze could do anything anywhere. 250 to hold the phone. 59 was the score on the Hardpoint Arsenal. eUnited go on to your grand finals after the 3-1 versus Faze Clan. And after that huge hit, again, it was a very close game. 3 points in the Hardpoint. 1 search and destroy round. It could have been a 3-0 for Faze in the winners finals, but they have to go down to the losers finals and play up against Gen.G, who looked relatively good versus Reciprocity with the exception of Nagafin. We'd start things off on Hardpoint Arsenal. A bold call for Faze to let that go through because they go right back to the map they just got destroyed. And what happens? They don't get much better on the map specifically, as things would not go in their favor whatsoever. 250 to 115 to going the way of Gen.G. Search and destroy, Hacienda. Faze was taking so gosh darn long to make a move on offense, and Gen.G punished the entire way. Both teams doing a great job of just kind of negating flanks whenever occurring, but Gen.G was just slightly better up front. This would go to round 11, but Gen.G take it in round 11, 6-5. Control frequency would be up next, very back and forth. A handful of great plays, though, from both teams, but it was Gen.G that was able to convincingly take round 4 and then come into round 5 with 4 specialists and earn streaks off those specialists. G to the G, Gen.G taking the 3-0 after round 5 goes their way. So they would go on to the grand finals versus eUnited. A little bit of a redemption run, as eUnited was the team to send Gen.G down to the losers initially. Gen.G, hot start, Hardpoint, Arsenal, Pristini, not the greatest of rounds ever as he didn't earn Vision Pulse. The SOG duo really couldn't get it done for eUnited whatsoever, and Gen.G are able to find themselves the win in the last second. But wait! There was a blue screen on Clayster's last about 15-20 seconds. It was about 2:44. I explained it on stream, actually. And it was about 2:44 to 2:01 or something like that. I can't remember what it was exactly. They had a break into the middle hill. You saw Beezy was using a Hellstorm, and as everybody from eUnited was stacking near the front lobby, Gen.G have complete control. The streak kills Pristini at 2:44. The flood starts to come in afterwards, but all 4 guns from Gen.G are just watching the doorway, and no one's able to get in. So should that have even been replayed? I don't care. The rules are the rules are. You know, they made the right call, I'm sure, based off the rules. But the simple fact of the matter was there's no way eUnited was winning that game. So we replay the map. Gen.G would start off hot again. Pristini also not having a very good thing coming back through. Gen.G had a very good first handful of rotations. Insanely well surgically done. It was via 250 to 123 to Gen.G. No question there whatsoever. Search and destroy, payload. Simp not able to snipe on payload nearly as well, and from there Gen.G just punished positioning because they were able to get the middle tunnels for pretty much free. This one was a free game pretty much. Gen.G 6-3, so now all of a sudden they're up 2-0. Again, if they win, they have to play another best of 5. They're making quick work of this one. We go to Control Arsenal, a map that eUnited has looked incredible at. Great early setups from eUnited, but it comes down to a round 4 with a great back nade and Havoc slamming the side lobby to turn the tides, and the advantage into round 5 is what would go the way of Gen.G. They would take it, a 3-2 win. Gen.G have the first 3-0, but they have to win a second best of 5. eUnited change the map setup dramatically, and for some reason Gen.G allow both Seaside and Frequency to come out for a hardpoint and control respectively, where they were able to run triple SOGs. Seaside was an incredible opening for eUnited. Again, triple SOGs. Gen.G not able to respond to it. It was early specialists, early streaks, great breaks on Fountain, and rotations into barrel. eUnited string together a number of hills, 250 to 119. Search and destroy Hacienda. eUnited all over Gen.G early, but Gen.G would start to pick it up as Envoy was able to find a number of kills through the open hall on Hacienda. Huge streaks every now and again, but it would come down to a round 11, 1v2 for Envoy. He gets the last couple of opportunities to put bullets into the diffuser, but gets saved at the last second, 10 HP, bomb gets defused. eUnited hang on the 6-5 win on Hacienda. up 2-0. You're starting to feel like it's going to go their way. We'd go to control frequency, and it is all eUnited. Astounding gameplay from the SMGs. Triple Sogs, I'm telling you, man. That's what it really came down to this time around. eUnited, great adjustments. They take the second set 3-0. eUnited are your champions of the CWL. Again, that's not World Championships. We still have that to go to. But as far as the CWL, the Call of Duty World League, eUnited are your champions not only in Division B, but of the entire regular season. Now, I say that so emphatically because at World Championships, you reset the slate. Everything comes down to what placements just happened at the playoff bracket and the other 16 teams that will be joining World Championships for a full 32-team event that'll be happening in the middle of August in Anaheim once again. So 32 teams, 16 from the amateur scene, and your 16 from the pros. Here were your 16 coming out of the open bracket. These are all based off seedings. The boys and Team War will be up top as that was the first and second finishers like we mentioned. Mazer Gaming, Sage Esports, Singularity, Sicario Gaming, Carnage Gaming, Aspire Esports make up your top 8. In your top 12 finishers are Excalibur, Fury Gaming, Hybrid Gaming, and Trainhard Esport. And then Firesticks Gaming, Divinely, Fuego, and Legend Status will make up your top 16. Now, we're going to give you guys a first look at what the pools will somewhat look like. They will be pools. 8 of them for 4 teams will be what's coming through. So the pools are a little bit confusing, but I'll try to explain them as we go. And here's a look at it so far. Again, this is all based off of the playoff seeding from both the CWL side of things as well as the open side. The teams that we know for sure, there are 8 of them that we know for sure will be in pools. Pool A will be your top teams from the CWL and the open. So eUnited and the boys will be in Pool A. In that pool as well will be the teams that finish 13th through 16th for both the CWL as well as the Open. That consists of Elevate, Enigma 6, Units, and Envy from the CWL side, and Legend Status, Fuego, Team Divinely, and Firesticks Gaming from the Open. You go to Pool B, Gen.G is your number 2 seed from the CWL, Team War is your number 2 seed from the Open. Again, 13 through 16 of both the CWL and the Open. Pool C will be your number 3 seeds. That's Faze Clan and Mazer Gaming from the CWL and Open. And again, you're 13 through 16. And then to finish things off in the top brackets, it'll be Pool D with Reciprocity and Sage, who are your 4th seeds. And then again, one of the teams from the 13 through 16. So when it comes to picking these pools, where you see the slashes in multiple teams, it's going to be randomly selected and drawn. I do not know at this moment when this selection will happen, if they'll do it randomly, if they'll announce it randomly on the Twitter, or if they'll make a show out of it. I imagine they'll probably do a Twitch stream to make a show out of it. As we get into Pool E, F, G, and H, now, keep in mind, the way it would typically go would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 would be your top seeds. But since we have a top 6 and a top 8 setting, it's going to be your 5th and 6th seeds randomly pulled for E and F. That's Luminosity and 100 Thieves in the CWL, Singularity, and Sicario for the open stream. And then beyond that, you're also going to be dealing with your number 9 and number 10 seeds from the CWL, so UYU and Midnight, or the top 12 from Open. Since they don't have a split between 9, 10, and 11 and 12 like CWL does, you're going to get a random pool of either Excalibur, Fury, Hybrid, or Trainhard in all of these pools. So Pool F, same thing, either Luminosity or 100 Thieves, or UYU or Midnight, Singularity or Sicario, and then again the top 12 that you had from the side of the open bracket. In Pool G and Pool H, you get your top 8 performers, which will be Splice and Optic in the mix for the top spots for each of those pools, and then Heretics and Evil Geniuses are your 9 and your 10 for Pool G and Pool H from the CWL. Carnage and Aspire are your top 8 finishers from the Open, and again, random drawing from the other teams that finish top 12 between Excalibur, Fury, Hybrid, and Trainhard. That's a lot. I know, it's going to be a little confusing, but hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. I wasn't going to make a graphic for this, but now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm glad that I did, because that's a little bit confusing. So that's what the pools are going to look like in some fashion. Again, like I mentioned, once pools are established, I'm going to be doing highlights on individual teams. All 32 teams are going to get individual videos right around 10 minutes in length or so you can get the lowdown on the rosters, the roles they play, the specialists they use, and for the Open especially, of course, you want to know what kind of history they have and where they've been able to perform in the past. And for those Open teams specifically, I will also be doing little interviews with some of the players and adding that into the videos to kind of give you a behind-the-scenes look as far as what to expect from these squads. So I'm planning on doing that all after the pools get released. I might just go ahead and do eUnited, Gen.G, Faze, Reciprocity, The Boys, Team War, Mazer, and Sage first, since that's 8 videos that I can get out, and we know exactly where they're going to be as far as the pools go. So I'm probably going to end up doing that. Make sure you keep your eyes on the channel for that kind of content. I will also be doing some live streaming where I'm going to be doing a brand new graphics package for everything World Championship related. So if you want to get a little bit of a lowdown on how to make graphics and how I do the graphics that I do, feel free to stop on by. And I will also be doing the live look analysis and breaking things down like we've been doing over the last week. So a lot of things coming for you guys. I hope you guys had a great time watching Miami. If you joined me in Twitch, it was a lot of fun. I had a blast hosting that little viewing party and analysis stream. So hopefully we'll be able to do more of that. But until then, we got a lot of things coming up with CMG, Checkmate Gaming, as well as the AGN. So you'll be seeing me casting a lot of stuff over the next couple of weeks. But until our next video, or the next time we see each other online, I hope you all keep holding it down. Later. Bye-bye.